Started then. Okay, so I know there's a few things that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. So I
It's
had
all
like this realization last night, kind of like, what is there really to talk about? And I had like this
Mhm.
weird dream, kind of. It's like, is there really a self here? And also, like, I feel like I've been conditioned by the community not to talk about these things. So I'm like, I mean, I love the story of like what happened, but I'm also kind of like detached from it now. And like I'm starting to like date again and like get into that mindset, like, which you've been like talking about, like how there's a possibility like they won't come back. So it's like it's not even about them, it's like your energy. And so like I like deprogram myself, like it's just my energy. Energy can show up any kind of way in a different form. So I'm like, okay, I'm just like kind of waiting for that form to show again. So
So you had a non-duality awakening, right? Is that what you're saying as well?
um
Realization appeared to happen
yeah,
for you.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I know I had like a spiritual awakening, I guess, in 2020. But as like the self like drops away, I'm
Hmm.
like more realizing like I'm just really in the moment now. Like I focus on the sensations in my body anytime I'm like in the mind. So it kind
Hmm.
of like grounds me, if you will. So I don't know.
So, like when the energy arises, you know how to work with it in a way where, I mean, what tools do you use, or do you just kind of not fill in that space, that gap when the energy does arise?
So I watch it, I watch the thought, and then I'm just like, where in my body do I feel the sensation? And if there's no sensation, then I just drop it, kind of thing. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or I focus on my breath and I just because you can't be in your mind and in the breath at the same time. So
Yes,
so I oop,
absolutely. So does that work for you better than like as to meditation, or doing saying mantras or whatever, or just getting out
yeah,
into that works for you?
yeah, I tried meditation, it didn't really work. I mean it was okay at first, like watching
Yeah.
it, then it got like insane. So so I'm like,
I
what is
know.
this? But I watched like a bunch of like non-duality teachers. I'm on Kenneth now. He's amazing. Like every
Oh.
time I need to like if I get bored or something, I just go watch him. So I started him like a few days ago.
Mhm.
And I'm like like I understand non-duality and I guess I'm in it, but I'm like the I guess the person just wants like that bang, that
That
like
understanding, really, like you want to, you're still seeking, you want to be where they are.
yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
no,
no, there's really nowhere to get. So
there is
I'm just
nowhere, like there is no understanding, really. You just got to listen. And trust me, I was there too. I really just wanted to be where they were, even though there is no there. There's nothing really. And even saying that is too much.
Mhm.
But yeah, Kenneth was the one for me.
Right.
Yeah, I binge watched a lot of his stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
Right? What's happening right now?
Mhm.
I will say, when I first apparently woke up, I was angry
Mhm.
because I realized that everything was a lie, was a story. So I didn't I was just angry, and I was going on, and I was like, well, what the fuck is a twin flame then? I was really like, why did
Right.
I go through all of that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what happened? So like I was going on groups and shit, and I was like so uncompromising.
Hmm.
So uncompromising. I was like, that's just the story. That's not real. I was getting so
Dang.
frustrated, because I
Right. You
realized
lied to
that,
us. You
yes,
lied to us.
I was like, there is no twin flame and blah, 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 and my friend, actually one of the ladies that was on my Zoom, that you see on my Zoom, she was like, you
Mhm.
got it. Like, she was like, they're still in the story and they're
Right.
not understanding what you're saying. She's like, you got to take it easy on them. But at the time, I was so uncompromising that I wasn't trying. And you'll see that in my videos. Like if you go all the way down, I was
I
very,
watched all
very,
of them.
you see, I started off as uncompromising. And now I understand. And there's this realization that everything is just a story and there's no getting out of that. So
Right.
now when I talk about twin flames, I try to make it to where it is an understanding for them starting out. So,
Hmm.
because I didn't want to come on too strong in a non-dual way and scare the
Yeah.
shit out of them, because that's what I
Right.
did at first. Is I was like, on them, and it was just too much, and it scared them.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Then it's like there's people to help, but then at the same time, there's no one to help. But you see them struggling, and it's like,
yes,
what do you do? Because you can't pull them out of there and say like there's no self, there's nothing happening. And I mean, like it's freeing, liberating, if you will, but
oh
it's like
yeah,
so scary. And then it's like, and then watch when you tell them they might not come back, and it's just like, dang, every obsessive thought, every idea that I had in the story, it's just for
fear,
nothing, not for nothing. It was
yeah.
part of.
Oh, I think it's all comes together. I really believe that the twin apparent flame is non-dual anyways, because they come in to trigger the mind, apparently. Okay. And all of a sudden you go through this obsessive thinking. Okay, when you first meet them, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And that's how it's supposed to be. So that when they do leave, the mind gets triggered.
Right.
And all of a sudden you have that, you're constantly thinking about them over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't shake it. And it's because the energy recognized itself, apparently, and it triggered the mind, or whatever you want to
Right.
call that, right? We all know, well, there is no mind, but whatever it is, it triggered it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when the obsessive thinking started to come in. And see, once the energy recognizes itself, it can no longer live in all the programming that we were taught. It can't do it
Right.
anymore.
What do
All the
you mean?
fear, huh?
Yeah. What do you mean by the energy recognize itself? Like,
Well, apparently anything is possible once you wake up from the story and all of that. Anything can arise.
mm-hmm.
Anything is possible. So when you're looking at when you look at your twin flame, and I don't know, not everybody's story is different, but when you look at them, you recognize them. Like there's a familiarity there. But not only that, the energy recognizes itself, which
Mm-hmm.
causes this um, awakening of the mind. And all of a
Right.
sudden, the mind goes into overdrive of all the programming that we've literally held on to with insecurities, worry, doubt, abandonment, of being alone, the fear of being alone. Oh my God, if he leaves, he's never going to come back. Who am I going to be with next? Who's going to want me? Blah, 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 blah. Even from friendships and family, like all that shit that gunk that you've held on to for so long, in the memory, in the apparent memory, is just recycling itself. And
Mm-hmm.
we're having to like literally release, well, we're not really releasing it until we stop making a preference of it and making a
Right.
judgment and over analyzing it. But
Mm-hmm.
those are, like, again, like I said, there's tools that you can use to get that to kind of dissolve and go
Mm-hmm.
away, right? And for me, like I said, it was mantras that worked for me the most. It got me out of the mind. For others, it's meditation. For you, it was the way you did it. And then there's people that just like to go out and connect to the air and the earth
Right.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, though, they're still looking, though. Some people are still looking to see if the shift is happening. Like, oh my God, it's not, it's still coming up, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't look for it. You just do it. You just
Right.
do what you have to do and just keep going. You don't need to look for it because when you're looking for it, you're right back in the mind anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So you just be, and just allow whatever's arising to arise without having to create a huge fucking story around it.
Right.
Because the mind is just doing what it's doing and it's not who you are. You're not the
Mm-hmm.
mind. We don't even know what that is. We don't know what
Right.
that is. It's just what's arising. And even that's saying too much.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we were always taught that this isn't the norm. That's not supposed to be like that. That's right. That's wrong. That's bad. That's good. But when realization appears to happen, none of that even matters anymore because anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible. There's no such thing as fucking separation. Separation is just the dream
Right.
made up. It's not even the dream, but it's the only way that I can express
Mm-hmm.
what it is in the story, you know?
Yeah. And being in the space is kind of like everything that arises in the mind. It's like now that I realize it, it is separation because you're thinking about it. So when I think about like him now, I'm like, what am I thinking about? It's not right here. It's not right here anymore. So of course there is still like this fear of like starting over and like seeing like everything that you thought you wanted in like a
Mm-hmm,
person
mm-hmm,
fade away into the background. And so now you have to like continue with your life. And that's like easier said than done because like before I had the obsessive thoughts and that has like really calmed down in the
oh,
last
good.
month or so. So like now I'm kind of free and like last night, like I said, had like this realization like what am I even going to talk about now? Because like I was obsessed with like the story, of course, like obsessive thoughts. And now
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't even come up anymore.
Right? It's like a dream. It was
Yeah.
a dream. It was
Mhm.
all just the dream. I can't even tell you like what I went through anymore when I was on the journey because it was so long. That was back in 2000. It started in 2014
Mhm.
and then it really just opened up in 2016. And then I went through the obsessive thinking and then it just, it was just, I can't even tell you. Like, I remember getting on my knees and praying to God, like the apparent God, to take it away, right? I was like
What
losing,
is
I really thought,
this?
yeah, I really thought I was losing my mind. Like, it was really crazy. But once I got rid of the fear based apparent energy, he did come back.
Mhm.
But now being around him is like better than it ever was before because
Mhm.
there is nothing. There's no like fear there of him
Right.
leaving me or not coming back or like all that has been so apparently alchemized or transmuted that
Mhm.
it's just not there anymore. And he doesn't have it neither, right? Because we are the
One.
same. So if I'm alchemizing it, apparently he's alchemizing it. It goes,
Right.
whatever. But like, it's just so easy. It's so easy now where before there was all that toxicity there of insecurities, of being abandoned, and oh, is he doing this and he's doing that, and blah 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 blah. Blah. That's
Mhm.
no longer. That's just gone. It flatlined. It just
Mhm.
flatlined, and I can't even remember what that felt like, to be honest with you,
Right.
when I was in that energy.
Okay. Yeah. I know something just mingled out. Like before, like a couple days ago, I'm like, what if he does come back and I'm in a relationship? And it's like I would like in my mom's, I'm gonna drop him for him.
Well,
But
you'll know. I mean, there's no point in when it does
like,
arise, you will know because there's no fear there. It's
right.
the fear. It really is. It's not a healing journey. You're not healing anything. It's the mind that's in going, it's in overdrive. And once you alchemize all of that fear-based energy, it kind of just dwindles out and you don't have it anymore.
Mhm.
So there won't be like, well, what if he comes back and I want to leave that person and blah, blah, blah. It will just be.
Hmm.
Whatever happens is going to happen. You won't have that worry or anything like that there.
Hmm.
It won't even be there, period. It's just whatever happens, happens. It's whatever is arising, actually.
Hmm.
I said the whole twin flame thing is kind of a non-dual thing because it's what's arising. You don't
Right.
have any of those stickinesses and attachments to what ifs. That's gone. That just leaves.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love learning about it. And like I guess like I had to like get all get all the information inside like my system in order to like neutralize everything and like just
Yeah.
basically snap out of it.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm constantly like I have my other stuff that's kind of like the mind stuff that I deal with. Twin flame stuff no more, but
Hmm.
like other things in my life that I have to work on, with the mind and stuff. That still comes up. So it's like you're always, you know what I mean? Just because the twin flame stuff dies out doesn't mean other shit ain't gonna die. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're
It's
still
like
gonna have
right. Like it's like it makes room now for
it.
like
Yes. And there's more of a
other life.
realization of what it is and what to do though. Like you'll
Hmm.
you'll you'll notice it more. You'll notice it more like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to transmute that a little bit,
Right.
You'll notice it. You'll know that it's not you. It's not who you are. It's just what's
Right.
arising.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of like detached is a strong word, but I watch it now. I'm just like
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah. It's just that's what's just arising. And you could either have a preference of it or not. But I feel like once you go through that realization, like you realize that it's all just nothing. And it's just what's happening.
Hmm.
You won't have that stickiness there. I don't have the stickiness, but I don't like seeing it either. You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't like it when it does happen. I'm just like, but I know it's not who I am.
Mhm.
But yeah, even the two ladies that I talk to all the time that I have my Zooms with, they go through the same thing.
Hmm.
No one's perfect, and there's no non-dual speaker out there that is neither. Because I'm telling you right
Right.
now, they probably have the same shit.
Right. One of them was like, I want to get to him. He's like, he feels like he's not even here. I'm trying to not be here too.
Yeah.
Man.
So I want everybody to know your name. I want to make sure that I don't want to butcher it because I was trying to pronounce it and I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Okay. It's
So
Maya.
Maya. Okay, that's right. But it didn't. It seems longer than.
Maiway. It's
Oh,
I.
okay.
Yeah.
My granddaughter, we call her Maya because her name is Miami, though.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I right. It's different.
Wow. Hmm.
I know. My daughter, when she named her Maya, I said, "What are you doing?" But yeah, but
No
my
one really
mother,
has that name.
no one has it. And
Yeah.
my mom, she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna call her Maya." So my mom calls her
Mhm.
Maya, so she don't have to call her the whole. Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, no. So yeah, so you're gonna always have things that are just gonna happen, but once you go through the realization, it's like there's just no more stickiness there.
Hmm.
Like you would usually like when the mind would go, you really just be in it, right?
Right. Hmm.
Really in it.
Then it like attaches somehow, and it's just like, how did that
Yes.
attach? Then I just go back to the sensations in my body and just like just look at it. I just look at
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So how did you meet your twin flame? How did that all happen?
So we met on Tinder.
Always
He
the
said,
dating apps. Mine too was the dating app. It was plenty
wow.
of fish.
Yeah, like where do you go to meet people outside anymore?
Right. I'm
Bars?
old. I'm old school. So I used to, when I was young, I always met them outside. There wasn't no dating apps, but as I got older, they came about. But
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I went on my Tinder. He had messaged me first. I want a traditional relationship in my bio. And then he messaged me, what do you mean by traditional relationship? By the way, good morning. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And, off the jump, we were just back and forth, and I had sent a paragraph of what I meant, and he's like, you seem like a writer. And I'm just like, he's like reading me like a book right now, the things he was saying. And
Wow.
so and I had also had 5'10", nothing less in my bio. So that was like my uncompromising kind of thing, kind of shallow, but it's okay because I'm 5'10", I'm tall. And then I'm heavy.
Okay.
So it's like I gotta have someone who can handle me. And then he's like, "Oh, here's my number." And then I was like, I'm like, "Are you 5'10", nothing less?" It's like, "Yes, I'm 5'10". And then I texted him, "Hey," or whatever. And then he wanted to like FaceTime me because he felt like I like knew how to talk and back and forth.
Hmm.
So we FaceTimed that night, and off the bat it was like, I guess, chemistry, I guess. But she was just easy to talk to. So we did that every single day for a week until we met in person. And then that's when
Oh,
he traveled. He lived in New York. So he traveled to
yeah.
come see me in New Jersey on the train. And when he walked in, he was like freaking superhero going up the stairs. I had set the mood to a
Yeah.
song that he sent me the first song he ever sent me. And I was playing it. Then when we got to my room, he tried to kiss me. What?
Mm.
I was like, oh my Lord. It was like some superhero stuff.
Um,
And so I was like, what are you doing? And then we went upstairs and we finally kissed or whatever. It was nice. Um, we talked for a little bit, started like making out, whatever, on the couch. And then at some point I looked at him. I was like, hold on. I know you from somewhere.
ah, it's that sound. I know, right?
Oh, you from somewhere. It's bugging the life out of me because who are you? Who are you? And it gets so interesting because this wasn't until after we broke up. I
Yeah.
started remembering the dreams I had when I was in like middle school, elementary school, beginning of high school. This guy
Okay.
I met in my dreams, and I can never see his face. And the funny thing is, he had told me during that first week we were talking on FaceTime that he's always having dreams about a girl that he's never seen her face. So when the two clicked, I was like, hold on, this has to be a coincidence. There's no way. And in the
Wow.
dream, like we got married. That was the first time I had sex. And I can never see the person's face, but I can see his silhouette. He had a middle part and like black hair, and that's what he had. And I was
Wow.
like, wow. And I would dream about the same guy every single night for weeks.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, in the dream, I felt like a missing person. And the dream was like, when can I meet you? Can we meet in person? And it was very lucid. And he told me, we were sitting on this park bench. I think it was in Central Park. We were sitting on this park bench, and he told me everything I needed to know to remember him. I looked like Louis Tomlinson from One Direction. We were listening to One Direction songs on this bench. And the scary thing is, there's so much. The scary
Mhm.
thing is that in the dream, I took a picture of him and took a picture of him. I said I didn't have a phone, but I said I have a phone, and he gave me his phone. Took a
Uh-huh.
picture of, and again during that first week, he sent me a photo of himself. Tell me why I took that photo. I the silhouette, the park in the background, the park and the photo was where there was a tent in the dream.
Wow.
We had sex in the tent, and so
Wow.
I'm like, I'm telling you, I took this photo. Crazy. And then
Wow.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Hmm.
And you can't make this shit up. So it's like something's apparently happening here, right?
Hmm.
Something's apparently happening, but people are so programmed to believe that the norm, like that's not the norm. Like that's people don't do that. Da, da, da. And that's all the programming.
Hmm.
Anything is possible once realization appears to happen. Anything can arise. Anything. And there isn't even an anything, but listening to you just brings back because I forget. I forgot a lot.
Yeah.
Because you go blank. Once you
Mhm.
alchemize all that shit, it's like you go blank and you don't remember a whole lot. But just listening to you, I'm like, oh my God, this is bringing back all the memories.
Crazy. Oh man. And then after we broke up, I wrote him a 49-page essay about because that week after we broke up, I went crazy. Not crazy, but like
Mhm.
you felt like something just pulled apart, and then your heart is on fire for no reason. For no freaking reason. And he's told me he read everything and we were going to talk about it, but he had nothing to say on the phone.
They
So I had
don't.
to process, nothing to say.
Because probably there was a fear behind it with you, a
Hmm.
fear. That's what makes them stop in their tracks, is the fear
Hmm.
behind whatever it is you're doing. Doesn't matter what it is, And once that fear is gone, he'll read that whole damn thing, probably, because there's no more fear attached to it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, yeah, that's the whole thing is actually getting that's why the mind does what it does because it's like or the energy does what it does, whatever, is because it's trying to get rid of all of that,
Hmm.
that fear-based energy. Can you imagine all the people that went and got to healers and shit like that? I
Man,
went to a shaman because I
dang.
really was I just couldn't do it anymore. And he did his because he speak light language. Have you ever heard of light language?
Mhm.
Yeah, he would speak light language and he was like, saying all this little stuff. And he was just, I don't even remember how he did it. But I remember my hands were lifted from the table because it was
Mhm.
all energy. And it felt good for the moment. That was
Right.
it. It still came back though. That
Hmm.
fear, the all that, it didn't take it away,
Right.
you know?
I read all the books, done all the shadow work, the mirror exercise, this and that. I'm just like nothing's happening. They're still not
Nothing.
here.
Right?
I paid for the online courses, like
Oh, with what's his
yeah,
name?
with
I
all
watched
yeah.
him for a few years, but I never took any of his courses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I ended up following Anna Brown after him.
Hmm.
And this is before he even found Anna Brown, because I guess he found Anna
Oh,
Brown. I don't know. This is what one of my friends had told me that I guess he watches her now.
hmm.
And he did find my profile, by the way, my YouTube channel.
He did.
He's been commenting
Oh, really?
on my stuff.
That's why he deleted me from the page. From the page.
You must have did something because like just it was what
Hey.
about a week ago he was on my stuff.
Oh wow! I just because I commented that I had got blocked from the page by posting your videos.
It was before you commented.
Oh really? Wow! Like this
It
is
wasn't
like
a
your
week
page.
ago.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he
Because
watched a few of my videos.
hmm.
I mean,
But
I
I think mine says that you're talking about the twin flame. You're not supposed to do that. I'm just like I'm supposed to suppress myself, like suppress my emotions,
that's a
suppress.
fear. That's a
Yeah.
fear-based energy, not feeling like you can't talk about them.
Hmm.
You're not it's whatever it happens. It's just there's nothing wrong with anything,
Hmm.
really. It's just the fear that's you know what I'm saying? That's behind it all.
Yeah. And once you talk about it like forever, you'll eventually get exhausted about
Yeah,
talking. So then
exactly.
it'll mellow out on its own. But by
Exactly.
the process is going to take longer. But then the understanding about it is like it's gonna help as well. And like watching your videos helped like tremendously because no one was talking about non-duality and twin flames. So that was like the cherry on top for me. It's like finally. Finally
I
I can
think
talk about it and then like get back to reality, non-dual reality.
and it's so funny too because that was my thing is like I went through that. I went through the whole twin flame journey and then I had my awakening of and the realization had happened for me as far as non-duality goes. And I was like, nobody's talking about twin flames,
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I had to talk about it.
Right.
And I think I'm the only one that does in the non-dual like community or whatever,
Right.
because I maybe there are some out there that do, but I'm not too sure.
I haven't found them. Mm-mm.
Yeah, neither
Here's
have
like the
I.
only one. Yeah.
And I tell my viewers that I'm like, I'm the only person I think you're gonna find that's gonna talk about this, and then. But I like to put a lot of my non-duality stuff on YouTube, and with my TikTok, I kind of want to start out soft with them. And I
Mm-hmm.
let them know, like, if you're curious about non-duality, just go to my channel and you can
Right.
watch it.
Yeah, eventually I think we'll all get to the same point.
Yes.
Yeah. So in a way in the story it is like a journey, but I'm glad that I'm off the train. So not off the train,
Yeah.
like I still have like well, I say like the person still has like this want to be with them, but then again, the energy can show up any kind of way again. So but it's like before I was like, but no, I want their face, I want their hair, I want their eyebrows, I want that person. But
That's all fear. It's all
yeah.
that fear. It's all the fear of that. But when you are no longer in that apparent fear-based energy, you wanting any of that is not going to be anymore because you're not
Hmm.
in fear anymore.
Right.
You won't have that. It will just be gone.
Hmm.
And him coming or not coming won't even matter because that fear is gone. You won't have a preference of it.
Hmm.
And I know when mine first started coming in, he first started to come in, I had a little bit of that fear. And
Hmm.
he backed off. And then he'd come in again. And then I still have a little bit of fear, he'd back off. And then he'd come in again. It was like he was coming in bits and pieces. And
Hmm.
then once they're a tool. They really are to let you know when you're actually in that, whatever you've been holding on to, they're there
Hmm.
to show you that. They're like a byproduct of it.
Right.
Really
They're
great. I
like,
love it now that I look at it. I love that it's like that because they let you know. And
it's
then eventually he came in and I didn't have it anymore. It's gone and he stayed.
wow, that's amazing.
Never left.
Because when you look at them, it's very mine had like a lot of whites in his eyes, so it's like very excuse me, very popped in your face. It's just like, whoa. How are
Wow.
you? And it's just it's kind of scary when they look at you and it's just like piercing eyes.
That's that you lose yourself. Well, you won't have that anymore neither. Like how we put them on a pedestal. They're
Mhm.
like a god. It's like something
Right.
you've never experienced. Yeah, that goes. That's all
Okay.
fear energy. That's all that attachments and addiction. It's an addictive energy. That all
Right.
goes. It's
Right. Yeah.
gone. I don't look at him like that no more.
Okay.
He's just a regular person.
Dang. I think that's the fear too. It's like all that it's like all the love gonna go away. Like I think because the person kind of goes away, so it's like what's left? Like
Well, it
am
won't
I
be the type of love that you're thinking. It won't be that toxicity type of love where you're like, oh my God, I have to have him around. And it's none of that.
Mhm.
Because that's an addictive energy. Once you alchemize all of that, it will just be a very healthy relationship. You
Right.
wouldn't care whether they come or go. That fear will be gone. And they won't come and go because the fear is gone.
Okay.
Because they can feel it in the energy. The energy will be neutral.
Right.
Very, very neutral.
Right. And it was like he was telling me something. It's like he was telling me something when he like looked at me. And then I had like this thought, like, you don't remember me? I'm just like, what is this?
Right?
Remember you? Who are you? So yeah, but
And
all
this is
makes
when you guys were like hanging out.
yeah, that first day you met in
Yeah,
person,
that's so
but you don't remember me.
wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're talking about you because you are it. That
Yeah.
was it. This is that they're letting you know that this is it. I am
Hmm.
you, that's one, you guys are the same.
Hmm.
That's why when you look at them, they feel so familiar because it's the same. But then
Hmm.
it's not really because that's just the story. But
Right.
it's the only way that you can express
Hmm.
what this is. You know what I mean? Um, mine did that. He came in and he was just sitting on my couch and he took his hat off and he was just, and I'm like, what is going on? Right? Because I didn't recognize him like he recognized me. And I'm like,
Right.
what is going on? And he was like, don't think I'm crazy. He said, Shannon, he goes, but I feel like I've known you before and I
Right.
can't put my finger on it.
Hmm. That's so annoying. That
I
drove
was
me.
just blown away because I knew what he was talking about because what happened to me in 2014 when I met the other guy that I was
Mhm.
talking about, which is
Right.
no other guy because it's all just one.
Hmm.
It's just energy. It's just what's arising.
Yeah.
It's just how your energy is choosing to show up
Hmm.
in that way. You know what I mean? And you're having to go through all these apparent different experiences or whatever. But I kind of knew what he was talking about, but not with him though. Like I didn't understand it, but I kind of did a little bit because when I walked into the bar and he was sitting at the stool, it was like I've been there before.
Hmm.
And I had been there before because that was a local bar that people would go to, but I'm connecting it with the person
Hmm.
instead of looking at it. It's my energy. And of course, I'm recognizing it because I had been here before,
Right.
where before I would have
Like
never noticed that. But because the energy was, you know
like
what I
that
mean?
tunnel. It's like that
Yes.
tunnel towards them or something like that.
Yes. It was like, oh, I have been here before. That's why I recognize it with him because he is me. That's my energy. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? The mind will never understand this. It will never, or whatever you want to call it, will never understand this. It's an energetic thing here. And
Right.
when it happens, it just happens. And it's like, oh my gosh. Wow.
Right. It's like it's a great story, I think. It's a
Very, isn't
water
it?
story. Yeah, you can just watch it now. I'm just watching.
Right. The story
Watching.
is amazing. Just hearing you talk about yours, it is. It's so beautiful. But then at the same time, it's just stories.
Hmm.
And but something's apparently happening, but we just don't
Right.
know what that is.
And it's freeing because you're not obsessed with it. You're not in the character anymore.
Yeah. And there is no character really, because I don't
Mhm.
even know what that is. But
Okay.
you know what I mean? There's really just nothing. And even saying nothing is saying too much, but it's all labels, concepts,
Mhm.
ideas to describe what this is, really.
Right.
And you can't even to describe it. But I've come to this realization that I am in the story. So I don't talk like this with everyone, when I'm out in
Right. No, you
public. I
can't.
don't do that. Yeah, I'm just living my life, an
Mhm.
ordinary life. But we are about to shut off here. But I
Okay.
really enjoyed this. This was nice. Really
Yeah.
nice. I've enjoyed getting
Thank
to
you
know
so
you.
much.
You
Yes, me
know,
too.
and for anyone else that wants to join us with Zooms or whatever, you guys are more than welcome. I say that most of the time, but some people are camera shy, and I'm glad to
Yeah.
know that you aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all
Okay.
right, until next time, I enjoyed this.
You. You too.
I will talk to you next time.
Okay.
All
Bye.
right, bye.